conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, the supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the foe destroyer, the completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings, and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you were born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who were wise then, I prostrate. With pure bodies, formed supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. With the supreme signs, face like spotless moon, color like gold, to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not, incomparably wise one, to you I prostrate. The Saviour having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you, the one gone to thusness, I prostrate. The purity that frees one from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime reality, to the Dharma that pacifies, I prostrate. Those who are liberated and who also show the path to liberation, the holy field qualified with realization, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you, the sublime community intending virtue, I prostrate. Homage to the supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the great Sangha, to all 3 ever devout homage, to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all round dozens in all aspects, with supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through these merits may sentient beings attain the rank of all-seeing, subdue the foe of faults, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Page 15, The Heart of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the Arya Triple Gem. Thus did I hear at one time, the Bhagawan was dwelling on massive Vulture's mountain in Rajagriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagawan was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound perfection. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then, through the power of Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara: How should any son of the lineage train who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this. Correctly and repeatedly beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise all phenomena are emptiness, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no eye element, and so on, up to and including no mind element, and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration and without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times also manifestly, completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as the truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared. Tayata, gate gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisoha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from that concentration and commended the Bodhisattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom, just as you have indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Sharadvatiputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding in their entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Page 23, 25. 菩萨是菩提觉深美常常，瑞拉灵心一代干帕地，三界心度密太无阿依，诸困难得心来求法说，这尊喇嘛当破开难题，诸苦快乐现在全觉内，其他三辈度切真马拉，萨给切给查法巴图索。Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kam Niryatayami
Sanje Chedan Soji Chana La Chanjo Bado Dani Jason Che Dagi Chuchen Jive Sona Dola Benje Sanje Dobara Sho Sanje Chedan Soji Chana Chanjo Bado Dani Jason Che Dagi Chuchen Jive Sonam Ji Dola Benje Sanje Dobara Sho Sanje Chedan Soji Chana La Chanjo Bado Dani Jason Che Dagi Chuchen Jive Sonam Ji Dola Benje Sanje Dobara Sho Pange Doze Nyuzawe Dawa Danje Bangmayi Tambe Shine Denzewe Godan Dela Chase Donye Nyenje Zonde Jebe Lang Chije Senze Kanche Dende Goyen Chana Bema Denze Jebe Sowa Dezo Shinde Lendoshi Pande Zewe Lama Rambo Shen Dagi Nyingar Beme Desho Lang Gade Jebe Gone Jezon De Gozon Toje Ngodo Zede Chanje Senje Rambo Shen Maje Bana Jije Jawa Nyeba Mewanya Kone Konde Bebara Shos Da Kulon Kom Yago Japshu Asta
So please do a very good motivation meditation to start off with.
아야 다 가와고 단대 주주 된대지 랑랑자야 디 믹스에게 대 베자 된대지 다주 총어디 니 개와 상부인 진 가와고 라
So now, Joyce, in this wonderful opportunity that we have, in particular to be able to study this text, is extremely fortunate. So we should feel very joyful about that.
Now we will do breathing exercise 15 times. 아야, 다. 저 중화 시시라 그중에만 중화 시시. 다단다 중화 시. 중화들라야. 중화라 뭐거네 얘나 여 시샤레스로. 사추 메롱 시체. 다들 줌쟁 가래로. 뭐거네 야 줌쟁 가래라는데 안델레 데비수 데비수 그 자와 치즈 시게베 레스 당요 레스 페나 아니 중화시와 디자인을 페나 살라 템바치야 당 추 두바치야 당메 멤버치야 당 롱기 쥐버치야 된데게 아니 누바 코랑 수수수랑 오고 누바든데 요베 인장 안 된데지고네 아니 중화시사데 모두 샤레스
Is the sound okay for everybody? Okay.
what
Yeah, we're all good. All right. It's okay. No. So we're talking now about the four causal elements, or causal primary elements, as it's said here. So these four elements, when we look at them in terms of their essential nature, then they're classified into four primary elements of earth, fire, water, and wind. So these are said to be the cause in respect to material forms, being that this is the cause, the resultant material form is produced, and they can be defined in terms of their function as well, which is supporting, binding, maturing, and expanding. So this is how we can regard these elements in terms of their result, the cause being the cause for form, and having these four functions.
다 중화시 아니 중화시를 당해 그래서 단 중화들 중화 숨체나 양 되게요 말했어 중화가 체나에다 망버려 망고 말에 뇽고 말에 시기디 시디 당가 되버려서 그렇다
So in terms of these four elements, there's not three. Three would be not enough, and five would be too many. So it has to be exactly four.
어디空气도 어디 대다 초용원 지다 신주 침모래 어디 지다 신주 침모사데 다 지라마와게 흉콩도 사요나면은 지래도 그래 신다 나라에서 다 지다 신주 주면은 실내 뇽나 아니 자와창 말했어 실내 뇽타나 자와체도고 말했어 실내 마나 아니 자와 매버 차제 그 주어도 그랬어 빼나 투시올라 강과 시코나 여버다 그랬어. 어디 단다 셔레스.
So this is then illustrated in this great treatise on differentiation. Yeah. So this is a great exposition school text, and in there it says some say if there were less than four, their functions would be incomplete. But if there were more than four, they would have no function. Just as, for example, a square throne has only four legs. So this is the scriptural for the Great Exposition School explanation of this.
오늘 다들 중에 되는지 인신나 스매와 두어 쳐와다 폐와 쳐와다 네바 쳐와다 폐바 쳐와 오란주 중화단 직 중화 아니 중화단 직바와 주 다시 중요해요다 파지게요다 근데 그 전에 아니 중에 돼 샤브레스 중화세야데 중화 텐샤 중화세야데 지금 오늘 그 펜외치 그래서 폐와치 그래서 지워치 그래서 마 매워 차도 야 폐와치 그래서 네와치 그래서 펜도치 그래서 아니 직도 그래서 중그래서 제가 대인상 그저 남샤도 중화 시들인데 용거이자 안콜은 중화시 양자 통다 직도 쉐레스
Okay, so this word element, or as it said here, primary element, what is the meaning of the term primary element? And in this we look at, it is that which diminishes, so this is the bottom of page 129, that which diminishes, enhances, harms, benefits, and by nature accommodates both emergence and disintegration. That's the meaning of this primary element. So yeah, these are the aspects that it has: diminishing, enhancing, harming, benefits, and accommodates both emergence and disintegration. So this is how we can understand this meaning of this term primary element.
다 중앙 첨부 라야 되와. 중앙 첨부스라고도 와서. 중앙 첨부 라야 하나 첨부라고 해야 돼. 가래 라위나 아니 디레스 가서 뭐다 남바당 봉제다 초 탐제라 네 캬버스 와다. 어디 지 되베 감고수 그 봉제 리럽 강진 도서당 야 총아 타도 뭐 뒤에 참모 저절이나 아니 중앙 시디기 요바 인자 아니 초타다라 캬바 인자 캬바당 아니 대자마세 아니 중앙 시디기 차와 첨부도 버렸다 더블링디나게 하나도 미기 통해 인저기 구주 제약의 가래 이내다 간다 중앙 첨부 중앙 시디를 마딘 발라 견의 둡대요 말이야 제가 근데 전에 아니 콜라야 첨부해야 돼 민도다레스 중앙 첨부.
So then we go into this term great. What's meant by this term great? Well, it says here, in terms of entity type and mass, they pervade every direction and accomplish great efficacy. And this is the meaning of the term great. So what's meant by that? Well, within the desire realm, every form or physical thing within the desire realm is pervaded by these great elements. So this is from the greatest thing like Mount Meru is pervaded by this to the subtle, very subtle particles is also pervaded by these four great elements. So whatever we can see, whatever we can physically see, there's not one thing that we can physically see that is not established on the basis of these great elements. Everything we can perceive with our eyes is established on the basis of these great elements.
다디 어디 디레 다 당기게 지나 지과래 지 칸로마 지 타마산 사야데 양자 아니 저그데셰 친이 진단데 칸로마 지 마사나 중화 레 주르제와 미뉴베 치레서와 찍 마사나나 자와치도 말했지 치레 마사와당 하메와 신이도 세다 다들레 퇴외 연나양 네 툭도 그랬으나 디인자 그 망고 말에 융고 말했지 어디 네 대신도 풍부해랍지 지라셔와라 대다시 코나디 아니 미뉴바다 미고바니도 태워주베지 미뉴바스디다 딜레고 말했어 미고바스디다 실레 마음 고 말했어 미뉴스디 네 숨이여나 자와지도 말했어 어디 미뉴바당 미고바니도 태워주베 실을 마와뇨와 메노시 중원이 땡당 두바당 면바쳐와다 교바쳐와다네 대단히니 대저용 소바다 저와 심해 중원다 시코나와 시송바데다 중원 시코나랑에베 김제디 셰르로.
So then it goes on to establish this further by basis of a couple of other quotes. So first, in investigating characteristics, it is said primary elements are just four, neither more nor less, because derivative form cannot be generated from the primary elements if they're absent. And similarly, in the specific explanation of the five aggregates, one reads, they're just four in number. They are neither too many nor too few. So if there was five, for example, that would be too many. You don't need the five. And if there was three, then that's too few. They wouldn't be able to fulfill their function and do what needed to be done. So that's why there's exactly four. Otherwise, they will lack potency or be redundant. The activity of the primary elements consists of just supporting, binding, maturing, and expanding. Given that is within these that their functions are completed and they have no other functions, the primary elements remain just four in number. So that's again establishing why there's only four and not three or not four.
다디네 중화수수 ngōshēyōndi 아니 로베니 포모가 다 중화수수 ngō디 예 단다 데 짜트지도 와데 디난 로샤나 아니 야고도 와다 디마타샤나 중화수수 ngō디 디난 셰용도 디 찍망고디 다 데시자모 짜트디난 로샤나 디도.
So then it goes on, Vasubandhu then goes on to talk about the aspects of solidity, moistening, heat, and lightness. So if you look at the chart on page 131, that's the essence of all of it. All of this, there's a lot of explanation, but basically the meaning is in the chart. So we'll just look at the chart and go over that.
민제 ngōche 칠레체 이세부도데 민디 언니세 중화체 ngowode karsana sawasade sawas ani chile karsana ani tembarche warwa se tembarche wres cheda mingche ngowoche chileche yawo shedo de salatiche dijine chulaya chujungwache sherwache chu ngowode chujungwache ani sherwache ngowode ani chile karsana dubache wres me jungwage ani me jungwade mingche ani chowache wres ko chile de memberche wres wa sabe memberche wres 아니 룽기 중화데 가르잖아 아니 양식 요하체 디 페바치 그래서 어다 두스 셰르다.
So you can see it quite clearly here. It's divided to three aspects: the name, the essential nature, and the function. So of course the first one is the earth primary element, and its nature is solidity and its function is supporting. Then the water primary element, essential nature is moistness, and its function is binding. Fire primary element is essential nature is warmth and its function is maturing. And the wind primary element is essential nature is lightness and mobility and its function is increasing.
다드네 중화 신달라야 다 싸워던 싫어던 도와슬랍 아니 롱라야 대제니샤도 양신 요와스르와 어디 다 양신 세드 말라비나 요와지고 요와슬라비나 아니 이건 심 정도죠. 롱차로 그래. 심 정도도 요와요 그래서 똑바 군도 요도로 하면서 이나 롱심 정도도 양어 말했어. 심 정도도 양어 말했어. 제가 요와랬어. 그래. 제가 롱그 친이라 제주 니상으로 양식 요스 니상으로 제가 심 정도라 요와데 상으로 양어데 상게요 매인자 아니 심 정도도 롱마인 버체베치도 친이디 코던직 데레스로 제나라도 앞에서고는
I think, yeah.
제도 단단히 로베니 풍봉을 잡질에 싸워도 쉬워도 차워도 요 그러면 대송라에서 롱라 요시요 어디도
So now we're looking back a little bit up on page 131. There's the last paragraph when it says, why does wind have two characteristics? So as we can see here, when we look at the essential nature, for the first three elements, there's just one, solidity, moistness, and warmth, whereas wind has two, lightness and mobility. So why does it need two? Well, it goes on to explain this. If lightness were just stated, without mentioning mobility, then causal form that is an object of the body sense faculty would also exist as form, causing by smoothness, roughness, heaviness, and lightness. And the doubt would arise as to whether the wind element, whether it is the wind element. If mobility alone was stated without mentioning lightness, then when the phenomena of mental factors is explained, and when it is said that what is intentioned, it is said that which moves the mind. So in this sense here, when you look at this explanation of intention, that which moves the mind, so if you said wind was merely movement, it could be confused with these mental factors. There could be some confusion there. However, this mental factor is not said to be light. It's light in the sense of not heavy, right? It's not said to be light, but it's merely said to be moving. So this clarifies that aspect, and that's why there's the second aspect added to the wind, lightness and mobility.
다양 요와 지고 랍샤베서 양어 요와 지고 랍샤비나 양어 지고 랍샤비나 야 되게요 말에 맨 잠바다 주바다 지바다 양어라서 왔다 배나 어디 좀저 tim바도 들어가 tim바도 저 롱차 tim바도 저 요와라 봐 양어라 봐 양시 요와도 말아 봐 양시 요 제가 되나 라다 잠바다 주바다 지바다 양어 속에네 그래서 네 양어레스 요와 말했어요. 롱그 팀이 장 말아 봐. 다디 ton다디 그 시디 셰레스다.
So then, if we explain, if lightness alone was said for the essential nature of wind, then that wouldn't be suitable either, because it could be confused with things that exist, such as smoothness, roughness, heaviness, and lightness. And also something like a cloud, right? A cloud is said to be light, right? Not heavy, light. However, it's not said to be moving. So this again would differentiate that definition from that of the nature of a cloud or something like that. Yep.
Jambad.
Smoothness, roughness, heaviness, and lightness.
Oh, the yet.
Yep.
So, Yamare, the Yomarwa.
So these, there in the lightness here, it's lightness, but it's not, doesn't have that aspect of moving.
다드네 종아시 타라시즈니라 종시 타라시즈 다 종아시 타라데 가르스는 다 살레 아니 추 타와레 추레 메 타와레 메레 롱 타와레 어두스 타라데 딜레다
So then when we talk about this, now we're below the chart where it says the difference of subtlety among the four primary elements. So Asanga explains each of these get progressively more subtle as you go down. So the earth is the more gross, then water is more subtle than earth, fire is more subtle than water, and wind is more subtle than fire.
어디시 다디 디나마 세부차선 다디 오네 어레 마로시나 제 마툴레야 아디시로 종어시 타라니 구름신디에서 치마치마레 nga마ngama 라고 파보토메 이송레 스타데 송도 남부된라베 두발레 살라스베 종어시오 대다니 구름신디 라고니 임바라바죠 구름신디에서도네 뭐라 롱레 에네 메라고 메레 추라고 추레 사라고 도우신 구름신디 도레스 텔라 세캄 데부단 제원에 땡지데 조이노서 달레오디레 이셰시나라
So then the quote which supports this explanation from the Sanga's text, the compendium of ascertainment, he says that the four great elements such as earth and so on are recognized as progressively coarser states. In this regard, the earth element and its resultant form are the main factor in terms of supporting function. So here he's saying in the reverse order that it gets more coarse. So you start with wind, fire is more coarse or gross than wind, water is more gross than fire, and earth again is more coarse or gross than water. Yeah.
다텔라 세캄 데부데 제원에 땡지소 슈단 메다 다디마시무 중화시 첼레장 세잘라지에서 풍봉한 남셰는 중화신부 첼레죠라 중화시 친이 셰발데 텔라 템바다 템바드 스위치고레스나 사가치고로 두베드 스위치고스나 추이치고로 민바디 메치고로 페바디 롱치고로 아니 제가 인자 세캄니 레지 템버죠 추캄니 레지도 다디 콩셰르 다디 콩 단다디 사감 추감메 디에게 아니 템버치그리 두버치그리 민버치그리 페버치그리 세야디 콩셰르 아니 메캄니 민버치 롱이캄니 페버치 도시제 어다도세 콩디게 데셰르다
So then it goes on to explain the functions of these various elements. So the earth primary element's function is to support, the water primary element's function is binding, the fire primary element's function is maturing, and the wind primary element function is increasing. So these are progressively are the functions of each of the individual elements. So this, in the sense of this word element comes in here. So the meaning of the element aspect of the earth is to support. The meaning of this earth element is to support, and so forth, going through the earth element, the water element, the fire element, and the wind element. So this element becomes very important in here. You can't just say wind without the element.
no comes 나 그래서는 감기 되는 짐버치베 되는 짐버치와 되는스 유르체베 숙죽직 라디오 땅어도 예와 어몽아 대응아 아니 최기직 소유와 될 숙죽직 숙죽직디 아니 그 짐버치 그래서 유르 디제 숙죽직 디제 유상마 수치 그래 강무치 그래서 그래서 그 가르 짐버치 그래서는 숙죽직 짐버치 그래서 배나 아니 세컴 추캄 메캄 감시에 아니 제단다 베나 캄 베나 메게 아니 템퍼처도 수딩이 요레스로
템바
수 템퍼로 데데
오케이
사가 템퍼데 메나고 사루로
사디
수디 걸 첼레디 인나 캄세데 짐베 되는 짐버 체와 인자 아니 캄 당보 캄고 되는다 그러는데 짐버체 진중 가래라도 ene chile susu mende wadia jashana
Okay.
digor.
Okay. So this word element, Chongwa, kind of means to arise more into that, I guess. But the element in this sense is the translation. So this word element in this context here means to bind or to hold, right? Zen is like, the meaning is to hold. So what is it holding? Well, it's holding these 11 forms that we talked about before. So the 5.
Gyurchebe, gyurchebe, ko gyur, sukjugji gyurchigi indra.
Zukchuchigi zingidat mara
gyurchene ne tingora sana. Zinjude ko shebe zinyadinde yomara ko sura. Zinsya de ngazo log zinyane lela borwa shebe de yomara ko sura borwa.
Oh, okay.
Ni kande zinyusne ko gyurchi zudire so. Gyurchene.
Okay, so it supports
gyurchebe bejoko나 난도 세우다. 감지 되니 짐버치베 되니 도어티 gyurchebe sukjugji zimbe nangsno 네. 세감, 추감, 매감, 룬감, 세우다.
Okay. So this word, gyur in Tibetan almost means to change, but it's used, so the activity here is, stabilizing the elements. So this word hold, it's not actually that applicable to forms. Like when you can say your mind can hold something, that's very easy to say, but when it comes to form, it's not that applicable. So it's this act of stabilizing. Zingyur. So yeah.
gyurchebe sukjugji zimbana. 세우다 빼져거나 말로 하셔. 세우다 돼. 니나 말로 하시나 세우도 다 이게 동바치고. 맞아. gyurchebe sukjugji zimbe nang 슬라다. 배나 중화디 싸게 지나 배나 숙탐제라 중화시가 열어. 이나 디나라 배나 쪽도 버질라 이나 세카망 외장 코탁보드 차로. 추딜라 추카망 외장 아니 추두스체네 고 메나메다 차야디 규디가 왕게 제도가 이외장 아니 짐바레서.
So it says here support since the elements support the 11 resultant derivative forms, right? But the support is almost facilitating the change, right? So change in the elements. So if the earth element is predominant, then it becomes harder, right? Whereas if the water element becomes more predominant, it becomes more softer and moving and so forth. So it facilitates this change in a way. This word support is to facilitate the change of these 11 resulting derivative forms. So these 11 forms are the 5 sense faculties, the 5 objects, and then the mental object form. So it connects with these or supports these 11 types of form. So that is this meaning of this word element. So here it says to support. I think I said to hold, but it's a combination of Zingyur, which is to almost like to facilitate change would be a way, but here support is fine.
다 dorna ngowo chele domne shebe inarwada jima salaya ye rumik din dan ngowo dan chele loga shazo ngowo chele nyi dumje kutinye shede ade se tinyi la sashi teba sorba sashin teba se tinyi lenshi shewa chu tinyi sashi sebo mesi yangshin yo long tinyi di yonga da dure na la shede.
So then when it comes to the explanation and in fact what you could say the yeah. So the explanation is actually the same. You could say the definition. The definition of these 4 elements combines their nature and their functions. So the definition of earth would be solid and supporting. The definition of water would be moistening and binding. That was wets and moistens. Okay. So the definition of earth is solid and hardening. The definition of water is wet and moistening. The definition of fire is hot and burning. And the definition of wind and light is light and moving. But well, so the lynching shepherd chukpura.
Lynching shepherd.
Lentang shepherd chukpura.
Mar lembasna churuwa sherwasi di chelero ko ngowodan chele nimdo sheyong. Lembalaya di churuwa sherwalaya di chu kharchena sherwa chigorwa.
So the sense wet is the nature, moistening is the function of that. So to no, in the chart the function is binding. You know the chart nangla the tang senyi drama mare se sa di tempore ini sa di senyi mare
di domar sa del samdang mare di nimda dana ni thudora.
So I think all the
sherwa di lung benal chu kharche gare chu chelele sherwa chigirwa.
You know di chu kamare di chure or chu kamare
뭐 지라마 다 지고샤고 주감단 주지고샤고
알아 오케이
지라마 어디 주감단 주지고 딱 뭐 공마이나 아니 주감단 줄로가셔도 베나 주 칠레디 가르스나 셰르바 당하나로 주 칠레디 셰르바로 와제다 렌시 셰르바 있나 셰르바 영어 말해서
okay so I think it's like referring to a different aspect of the function. Right, like the function, and I said is that water or water element, but for the Great Exposition School they don't posit a difference. Later, other schools do, but it's talking about forgetting the chart for a moment and thinking about the function slightly differently, right? For example, water, the nature of water is to be wet, and then the function of water is to make something else wet, like moistens it, right? So if you can think about it in that way, like hot, burning is different to hot in the sense that if you come in contact with something hot, then you'll burn. So the thing that's hot has the function of burning, right? So in that way you can understand it, and then ignore the chart, and we'll just won't worry about it.
상상은데 ngobodan chile jigba denjotinde yorwa. 상상을 칠레드니 상상 오버드니 근데 용구요래 셰르바디 상상 추도고 상상을 추 칠레라 도고요와 셰르발라디 셰르바스 라비나 람사 미디기 추코고리와 다양 추디 셰르레라나 아니 셰르바디 칠레라 마코도 다고 저단 틱디 상상을 오버도고 상상 칠레도고래 디 자지 타 미데발라야 된대 요와.
Oh, okay, so right, so this nature and this function are like different, I guess you'd say different aspects of the same thing. Like sometimes, like if you think of water, if you say wet, then automatically you think of water, but also it's moistening, but it's like different aspects of the same thing. It's not like two separate things, right?
wet slamna ngol kore.
Right.
Chudi water wet lamna an ko chilele ma khorora adus to.
So yeah, if you think about something being, when you think about water, its nature is that it's wet, right? That's what it is, right? But when you think about what it does or how it functions, then it moistens. It makes adds wetness to other things.
네, 자지
I guess.
자와단 제와 탐에 대해 직다데 여러 직인데 여러 자지 탐 다딘데 용으로 와 디다고도 다디 간다디레 렌신 셰르와 다딜라 tak시도 단에 다요 tak시도 단으로 tak시 망고 다야 돼.
You have to debate about it a lot. About the difference between wet and moistening. I guess they didn't have much else to do in the morning.
The tak시 단치란자.
No, you have to think about it a lot. It's very important. You've got to know. You won't get far without.
사신 색과 차와단 색과이나 매용고래라 차와단 you 렘바단 셰르와이나 아니 레 차와단 색과이나 매용고래라
So it's more that like when you talk about in something of its definition, if it's they have to be one another, right? So if it's hot and burning, it must be fire, and if it's fire, it must be hot and burning. So it's and the same with water. If it's wet and moistening, it must be water, right? So this is this relationship between the definition and defining them.
阳性药啊，没那天弄金巴都是阳性药是吧？我那是呢。
So yeah, but then
like
if you say if something's light and moving, it must be wind. Then you come up with, well, what about a cloud? A cloud's light and moving, so is it wind? And then,
that did you understand the Jimba de in long race, Jimbata, and Yangshi Yo in Beches.
Yeah, so then you have this exciting debate. Oh, a cloud's wind because it's light and moving.
Take go Tiro, Jimba Lung Marwa.
But you couldn't really say that a cloud's wind.
That in it, Moba, Meshung, Levin, the Yinji, Chungombe, Zutavis, Juma Shiri, Tobanaya, Juma Shin, Matana, Matama, that is Shegore. Lovi Yinigi, Juma Shiri Renala, Juma Chu Nalayana, Nisa Chu Me Lung. Me Nalayana, Chu Me, the Yeri, Yoris, Shegores. Anatelayata, Juma Sa, Chume Casana, de la Shechorota, the two. Me Shechawayana, and they make Mary's lagres. Chu Shechaway, naturally lagres, long Shechana, long lager. Yanasa, Tuchewatan, Shechawa, Tuchewas, Nuachewatan, Mavi. Sounds like a Mambo member in a Nuwa Chamberana Mechard. They take the choir, Tuchewatan, Shechawa said. Tuchewa said, you knew in a Nuwa Chamberana Mechard. Any Mambo Yana ko Mechard.
Oh, okay, first forceful.
Oh, those ten, you know, when the day that and called Tuchewa and Shechawa, you don't want the jury. Juan Mingo Bacheve to the URS Pena. Or the Sadota Chigla Yan, Dubatan, Kambata, Yoa, Yuve, any me, chu me, long some hanging to your last law, or the debate shadow.
Right. It then goes on to talk about, in the text of the Lower Army Dharma School Sisters, about a Bandhu's treasure of knowledge. It is stated that when each of the four primary elements combine, though the other primary elements are present, the most forceful and dominant primary element manifests while others exist in an unmanifest state. So within, for example, fire, there is all the other elements, earth, wind, water, right? So there's all four are present. However, the predominant element is fire, and therefore it's said to be fire because the fire element is the most predominant or most forceful and dominant, as it says here. So if something is hot and burning and therefore fire, it doesn't mean that the other elements are not present. This is according to Vasubandhu's text. It just means that this fire is the most predominant, forceful and dominant one, whereas the others would still be present.
Oh, the Tabena, Jinday Yinza, and Bena Sado David Chiglayan, Dubatan, Kambatan, and Yoa, and a chu me long song Yoatan, Tishan de and Chulang, and chu Degwatan, Meadow Mimba Chawatan, Yoa Yoa, Melayan, Major Degwatan, Tidubatan, Yoa Yoa, Longlayan, and a Tawatan, Tawatan, Regja, and Joan some Tangic the Yoa, Durs, or the Lada.
So this others exist in this unmanifest state. And it says here, take for example something like rocks. Since it has the property of cohesion, dryness, and movement, the three elements of water, fire, and wind are present. Similarly, water supports wood and matures flowers and has movement. Fire supports flames, it has cohesion and movement. Wind gives support and has cold and warm tactile sensation. Therefore, these three primary elements are each asserted to coexist within the other three. Does that make sense? Is it clear?
Tedana, Tedara Suk Duba Tamjela, Juma Shige, Chile, Tawa Yuve, 중시 친이와 유메스다 속되바 탐제라 코나 나라야 중앙 시각에 젤레디 요르 젤레디 요 인상 왜냐 젤레 간시에 제와데 조이메 대찬이 중앙 대단대 탄예 제와네 매 메마바베 값이 중앙 신숨 여장 추당 사당 롱 여장 매조와 체면자 안데 메레스라고 그래서 간데 이나 데나라 매야 바데베 내가라 추에 요레 사 요레 롱 요레 대다게 저월라 되네 샤바와세 근데 저거 뭐 지라시 신들이 치면다 홍리시고
So it's important to understand why is something said to be fire if all four are present. For example, why is it said to be fire? Because that is the predominant function, that hot and burning. So it performs that function. That is the most dominant function. But the other aspect, the other elements are there because it has other, like maybe you'd say secondary functions or something like that, that are supported by these other elements. But whichever function is the most predominant, then it's said to be fire or wind or water or earth. Right, but any of these elements, all the four elements must be present. It just depends which function is more predominant. That's when it's given that name, fire, for example.
어다 디네마 디 콩디셰 콩디 직로시네 고레 중화 첨부 시고 따드 미테와 치다 은시나스 메와 랑 친이다 젤레타 저거 탐제라 미게 치로 시다 싸워 저거는 세세 어디 디 마직로시도 컨택하실래요 탭이요 사마로
The whole thing.
Okay,
so we got a bit of reading to go here. So the Great Treatise on Differentiation explains this point. So the question is, how do the four great elements always manifest together without separation from one another? And the response is, because their characteristics and functions are observed in every compound, thus the characteristics of earth exist in a solid composite mass because they appear to perception. If that compound lacked the water element, then any gold, silver, and lead, and so on existing within it would not melt. Moreover, if it was devoid of water, it would fall apart. If it lacked the fire element, then sparks would not fly when it was struck by stones, and the like. Moreover, if such a compound was devoid of fire, it would not mature and decay. But such compounds do decay. If it lacked the wind element, it would not possess movement. Furthermore, in lacking wind, it would not possess the expansion or growth. The characteristics of the water element exist in a liquid compound because they appear to direct perception. If such a compound lacked the earth element, then ice would not form in the presence of extreme cold. Moreover, if that mass of water was devoid of the earth element, even ships and so on would sink. If it lacked the fire element, it would never warm up. And devoid of fire, it would decay. If it lacked the wind element, it would not accommodate movement. Furthermore, being devoid of wind, it would not expand. The characteristics of the fire element in a warm compound exist in a warm compound because they appear to direct perception. If such a compound lacked the earth element, tongues of flame such as those in a butter lamp and so on could not be extinguished. Moreover, if it lacked earth, it would not support entities. If it were devoid of the water element, it would not arise as a continuum. Moreover, in lacking water, tongues of flame would not collect together. If it were devoid of the wind element, it would be without movement. Furthermore, without the wind, there would be no expansion or growth. The characteristics of the wind element exist in a moving compound because they appear to direct perception. If that compound lacked the earth element, then when such a compound came into contact with something obstructive, such as a wall, it would not be stopped. Moreover, without the earth, it could not support anything. If it was devoid of the water element, cold wind would not arise. Furthermore, without water, it would not disperse or disintegrate. If it were devoid of the fire element, there would be no warm wind. Moreover, lacking fire, it would decay. Is that clear? It's quite a lot.
sakdu thamo chiglarwa sakdu thamo chigla ya jungwa shiche ani sukche thiche roche regjeche duze gege kumudi ani dewa de kelen chigo resta ta de nengare
I think we went over this before, but as it said in the this is the lower Abhidhamma text. Vaibhashikas assert that even one aggregated atom, so this very subtle particle, must possess all 8 substantial particles. The particles of the 4 primary elements plus the 4 substantial particles of form, smell, taste, and tactility.
제가 다들 치기 먼저 중앙으로다는데 치치고 상로마당 안아서 수분한게 두단의 쉐위나에다 그다음 먼저 수부대다 중앙시기 두대바도서 생기도 왔다디 배 가서 오래 단다디 수수 수분한래 삼단기 등이 지나야고요래 내 수분한게 아니 타 티고 치기나라야 아니 뒤제되게 최당 아니 롱당 추당 다 상마요와디 삼단 두두두 삼단데 아니 데데 마마마 삼단데 뒤제 탐모디게데 아니 칸데스네기 유메 삼단 가자질 수수 수부코랑 베 라도로 저봐 수부 라도다 단단한 가서 수부 딱 타고르지더라 아니 디마직 식루도 직 타로지 데제 찍나라 제제날 찍나 마마마마 마페르데 가자질 베들라도다 아니 매버차 매버 심나라 당기직 타고르지 딘디 요디 다디 두용한저 지우지 딘데거로 다디 매버차로 제가 디펜도 좀 보셔래다
So it's important when we think about these things not to think about them merely in terms of the external physical phenomena, right? It's also important to think about them in terms of our own body. Because if we really think about how our body is composed, right, what it's actually composed of, and break it down until we break it down into these subtle particles, and then even these subtle, like let's say atomic level is composed of these 8 particles, then it's like literally your body's lost or is kind of gone when you try and break it down in this way. It becomes like non-existent maybe.
다드네 도데와 가르데 버렸으나 아니 펜보남 뒤제게 펜보스도 다 수락버들 펜보 자게 열봐 네 펜보남 뒤제게 되장서 뒤제게 제베 제데 뉴밤 사면나 되고래다 펜보남라 뒤제게 락바네 종아사추 메롱 수타데 로제데게 요와 켈렌시그레스 이나야 아니 뒤제 다 참모트졸 말레원디 네 딜레야 뒤제게 샤에나 제디 뉴밤 사면 딘데질레 샤그레스 페나 뉴구 그 사면 더 춘주 지그나라 이나양코 아니 사추 멜론지 차장게 뉴바디게데 요 뉴바디 이건 띠앙원도 마추바데로 응원도 주나 사단 추다 멜롱차로에 응원도 마추나 언제 통해 메거세 가나와는 응원도 주와다 미나와나 사면지 추도 요지스 아니 녜방군주도 요메고 라사 숙진남라야 사주소지 뉴밤 사명군의 상의 유견 사주라스의 생행에와 요메고데 저르데실레 데데 세부도 아디 베제도 말로시는 저
So these southern trikas, so moving on from the Vaibhashikas to the southern trikas or the Sutra school, on the other hand, they do not assert the material phenomena are composed of accumulations of 8 substantial particles. Sorry, do assert that these, however, these exist more like a potential or a seed. So they exist as like a power or a potential or a seed, like the seed, like a sprout has a seed. And the reason for this is they maintain that when a particular primary element is perceived, it is manifest. And when it is not perceived, it remains unmanifest. And it is not necessarily the case that the primary elements remain manifest at all times. Therefore, although earth, water, and so on are fully present in all physical entities as potentials or seeds, they do not. There is no need for actual earth, water, and so on to be present. So, I mean, essentially, this means that it can these elements exist within everything, but they don't. They can exist as a potential or a seed. They don't necessarily have to be manifest. If they manifest, they become that thing.
yala khung shedo tian zug de she thun se le shinda na re se 저거다 지라마 되시니 신다지가 된데 되고요. 레스. 신다 수레스나 더 되버려. 신다 나래스 이데.
더 되버려.
신다 나래 대다 사면주군의 유익이 세워지던 더 되버 남데 세다. 지라 신주가 된세나라 신다지기 에 두제 제세디 카실라 사면고 권의 요레스 셰샤스티. 더 되버 남레스. 임베 김제 가레스나 사면주 권의 시차원의 누베권의 사면사면사디 누바레스. 투레스 시차원의 타지고스 랑고원의 많이 시차원의 제수 많이 시제다. 그 뭐mon스 맹원에도 요 말이에요. 이나 매 사부차야겠다. 누버디 요레스다디 지라모든데 시기도 아슬라고 그러다.
So it goes on to explain this in this explanation of the treasure of knowledge. For example, it states, others say that they exist as seeds. This is in reference to the Sautantrika or the Sutra school. In the manner of seeds means the form of potentials potential or power, which ultimately means as potencies or power. Right? They do not exist by means of their essential nature. Ultimately means they do not exist substantially. So I think that's pretty clear. Is that clear? What you just explained.
세우도. 아파고 도미 진단데 제와는 게 간 투치시 셰집에 내가 불라 중화태단 티고에서 민도 아니 셰 중외 투 내가 될라 아니 감스와 제가 아니 중화야 아니 간 투치와다와 매세다 아니 매 투춘주의에 내가 될라 매감 매다 매감 추단 추감라다 겨워져야
Okay.
간 투치집에 내가 중화될라 아니 뭐에서 민도도 그랬어 아니 셰 중심 투치에 내가 될라 아니 매 감세 아니 중화시 감라 켜버치네스 삭베 수탐제라 중화시 감상와 연나양 중화시 진여의 요매가 셰데스타데 세부도 어디 마시 디마 로션데스.
So in the text of the Sangha and as follows, the names of the individual primary elements are used when the element strongly manifests in a dominance, such as this or that primary element. And when they are weak in strength and potencies, they are referred to simply as elements. Though such differentiation is maintained, and although all four primary elements are present as elements in the composite material, when it does not follow that all four primary elements of earth, water, fire, and wind are present. For this, the Sangha states, so, and this was that primary element. Basically, they differ, in the Tibetan, the differentiation is between like water and the element of water.
Come.
Come is element.
Yeah.
So here he said element or primary element, right? So, but they differentiate that when it is the primary element, then it fulfills the function of that thing, of water, wet, and moistening. Whereas when it's not actually manifesting that function, then it's merely the element rather than being the primary element, according to these words. Or you could say it's water rather than being the element of water. Chutan chugi kam. So chugi kam di nupa yura yinang chele yomara.
chile yume geje yomara. chile da yode yo. ina nuba chenpo yomara ya.
So chuna dini.
chula chu kam segmara. chu yang on gyutsarwa. me bena 먼저 메나라 chu yora di len shiye waji di le chu kam segre.
Chu kam yura yinang chumara.
Chumare la. Chu
kam. So, for example, you could say that the element of water, or maybe in this case, the primary element of water is in fire.
중화추 라고래. 중화추.
The element of water. Yeah. So the element of water is in fire, but you couldn't say that water itself is in fire. Right? Is it clear now?
데 세응우시나를 데 셰도 콩탄도 세응우시래 파워타믹 된죠. 딜라 소두버 탐제니 두 탐제도 중화첨부 탐제 감유도 디다디 신감부족벌레 매총화당 대신도 도다벌레 매총화다. 아니 대신도 짜다 무다 셀라서버 미지고 내장정부 총화 대신도 추셰벌레 추종화다. 어디로다 추실레 추종화. 세부도
So this might make it clearer. All according to this is a Sangha again, the facts and grounds. All composite form possess the elements of all four great elements at all times. Thus, fire arises from rubbing dry wood, and so too fire's primary element arises from striking stones together. So too, if iron, silver, gold, and so on are heated with a gentle fire, they stretch. So too, the water primary element arises from the moonjing.
다 대신에 풍풍에 남실래 장스로 배나 싹하나 여버데 추다 멜롱이여스 추가나 여버데 아니 사다 메다 롱이여 대다 치와다 사시 세밍었으면 다들 더버시 추다 메다 롱시에 체외 투충원 내가시 대양 추푸 강 렌자 푸강 세발레 치푸강당 렌자 푸강 세발레스 치푸강당 렌자 아니 푸강 세발레 아니 렌자 투시 체외 규외 렌자 가신 것은 민이지 인자 신의 감지 진임에 오면 이 치불라들의 뭐 담바로 담바 포마 간지 대가나 차대가 잡이나 차대 숙차와 용거로 봐 안딜 아 자구레 샬라 그러면 이제 담바도 라그마로 빼데르다
Oh, okay. So then it goes to explain in the explanation of the five aggregates. For example, wherever the earth exists, water, fire, and wind also exist. Wherever water exists, earth, fire, and wind also exist. If that which is stronger and more dominant in a specific place is explicitly described as earth, then fire, water, and wind residing weakly and recessively, and these are referred to as elements. Further, for example, through a mixture of a handful of sand and a handful of salt may explicitly be referred to as salt, since salt is stronger and more dominant. Sand also exists there, for it is not the case that the characteristics of the elements do not exist there. So you could take the example like if you had a bunch of sampa and you had a bunch of sand, like a bigger amount of sand, and you put all the sand, the sampa in the sand and mixed it in. Sure, the sampa would be there, but you wouldn't want to eat it, right? Because you'd be eating mostly sand. So then you could simply refer to that as sand, but that doesn't negate the existence of the sampa. It's just no longer manifesting, I guess.
어이 다디는 뭐 더워 제냐를 네마 더워 다디는 내조줘 세드니서 내조줘에 심벌쳐와드는 싹번 내와단 중앙 아무래도 내조줘에 심벌 하고서 어디 말투 다디마 더워
음아디
어다 내조줘에 심벌쳐와스는 이소 다되면은 당이 되는 마지지 로시니 그냥
샘 삼바디래 어디jello
좀 담바시 다 거다
넘버 전화로 콘조디 샘 삼바드니 콤볼로드 요래로 디젤라
내조주에 심벌 쳐와네 슬럽다 다되는 마 이스 말이야 말해 반대 다와타 wal라이도제
it's going to do
콤볼로드 거다 베지 천자스 니스
do raksa di non okay di jello di non
알레 콤볼로드 렌지 총대도
네 렌진 총만 di jello di
근데도 내조주에 심벌 쳐와다네 싹바 내와다 되게 간데도 내조주와 스디 간디도 내조주에 심벌 쳐와다네 싹바 내와다 내가 저도 지단나 매와는 누가 찍래 줘라야 대단에 퐁도 감보 때문에 중원이래 줘라 디니 싫어 중원 숨래 줘 어디 디게 마직 로시다
So now we're looking at the verse on bottom of page 136, which is the explanation of the cherished treasure of knowledge also states. Those who think of themselves as Yogacharyas speak of the compound states as definitively consisting of the primary elements and their derivative forms. Why? They say that there exists some things which is derived from the acetation of one primary element, dry clots of earth, for example. Also, there are some things which arise from two primary elements, moist clods of earth, for example. Also, there's those things which arise from three primary elements, such as warm, moist clods of earth, for example. Furthermore, there are those things that arise from all four primary elements, such as moist, warm clods of earth, when they exhibit movement. I might as well finish reading. One should understand that in terms of the right form is observed in any composite and is thus said to exist there. A composite that possesses a single derived form exists, such as light, for example. A composite that possesses two derived forms exists, such as wind that possesses sound and aroma. A composite that possesses three derived forms exists, such as wind that also possesses smoke. From it is categorized by specific form, aroma, and tactility, and its attribute of tactility should be understood as lightness. Also, a composite that possesses four derived forms exists, such as an agi tree, and a composite that possesses five derived forms also exists, such as those plus sound and so on. Is that clear?
That is so.
If you read it slowly, it actually does make sense.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is not Gomolo to Granji Chonale said Lison.
Right, yep.
That Dina Harasana, Juan Namjan, Dashin to Saju Medan Lunani. Rering over Nimen, Consumeva Nidimi, Jimmy Bana Sumela, Kedisuma. That Juan Namle, and a Dadan Shin, Karangobo Kare, Su River Courage to it, and the Sa Chu Me Long, that Juma Shire, Movodi, and a China Yorisina, Moni to your mare, Ranshingi to your mares. Ranshingi to your mares. Rering over Nidimis, that Demba to be Sayo Mare, Demba to be Chu your mares. Ina ya dinala ane juwa khansum summena chiga menjo chadores jingmena summenjo chadores summena jingmenjo chadores jingmena summenjo chadores khanda juwa khanda de sukji drop chinje la khanda juwa shiji yogo res ina juwa shi yowa de ngoni to ya mar temba to ya mar sta thanda dodo thire wa ta kunzob de ini jingmena summe charo summe na jingme charo so ada dungse dangi na shi jungwa shi di chadang jing yogo de dure ina de kunzob de yore me she thandam de re ngo ni de me se de ngo ni ran shin gi tuwa de da shi juwa na ran shin gi ma de be zumba de be kap se se sala so be jungwa shi chokwa na ya jungwa shi sum ji kham yoga la ke de jungwa shi kham re me na ya shiga ma sa de je dewa de ma lo sha na de khajin di ma se re do.
Okay. So we then move on to the quote at the midway through 137 from Nagarjuna's Precious Garland. The primary elements are false like the self. Also water, fire and wind individually lack any essential nature. And when any three do not exist, one does not exist. When one does not exist, also three do not exist. When three do not exist, one does not exist, then they cannot exist separately. And then how could a composite be produced? So just to explain this, it becomes more clear when we read the commentary. But so this, when it says individually it lacks essential nature, that's talking about the ultimately lacking any true existence, right? So the lack of true existence in this sense. Because, without the other three, and then from a relative perspective, it says that if three do not exist, then one does not exist, right? And if one does not exist, then the other three also do not exist. So this is looking at it from a relative perspective, and from a ultimate perspective, then this saying they lack any essential nature is saying they lack any true existence or inherent existence. So I'll just read the commentary. Thus, the primary elements are demonstrated to be fictitious and devoid of any inherent existence. Nagarjuna explains that when each of the four primary elements, such as earth, the elements, and the other three primary elements must be present. If, for if only one of the four primary elements is present, or if all four primary elements are not present, then there would be no emergence of a composite material form. So basically, again, it says that you can't say something is from its own nature or from its own side of water because the other four elements have to be present within it. So it's not truly existent as water because it's I guess dependent on these other three elements as well.
Oh yeah, that is how to you.
So we'll stop here. Any questions?
Your question? No. No question. Instead of here. But the next week we have some tests, isn't it?
No.
No.
But
Yeah.
do we have class next week?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
But do we need to do anything?
We will bring them. Okay, that's fine. Okay, and then this class last, isn't it? Tonight. And next August we can continuous no mutu je ma do step. Jime.
So we can continue on with the text. We still have time and all of this to do.
We have lots of time.
We've got part 5 and 6 and it gets the
Maybe-
cosmos and its
maybe-
inhabitants and Abhidhamma. We got some exciting stuff going on here.
Okay. Yeah, I still here now. Nyoje me do dam re ra lin shi nyin de jen ba de san je shin de do ge nan da shin la che para sho la me go de ra din shin nang ga tin le cho chu je wa tang lo san ten be de me sa sum de we me se da do ne yo chi go re ra ne men de la kan ni ya ta ya min.
State of a Guru Buddha, and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase more and more. Whatever slight positive potential I may have created, by paying homage, offering, and acknowledging my faults, rejoicing and requesting that the Buddhas stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for full awakening. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best, by the victorious ones thus gone of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the king of Dharma, Tsongkhapa's way of Dharma practice flourish. May the omens of obstacles be pacified, and all the conducive circumstances be complete. The wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Saviour of the snowland teachings and transmigratory beings, who makes extremely clear the path that is unification of emptiness and compassion, to the lotus holder Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjana's victorious doctrine, who mercifully accomplish magnificent prayers honoring the 3 jewels. Saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. By relying on the 2 accumulations of myself and others in the 3 times, may the teachings of the conqueror Loseng Drakpa blaze for a long time.